Now today, I'm standing on the border of Nicaragua. It's a different country. Politically, we cannot take the drone in there. We've got to get rid of the drone, so you're going to miss that for a while. We're going to go through Nicaragua. We've got great roads, wonderful people there. And then we're going to go into my home country that I've adopted. I'm a migrant now in Costa Rica. So we're going to be home. You're going to see my house. We're going to have a little party. And then we're going to proceed through the jungles and the tropical vegetation all the way down to the Panama border, the last country we have to go. But join us. Nicaragua is beautiful. Some more volcanoes. Costa Rica's fantastic. You're going to have a great time going through the jungles and looking at the birds and everything. So let's go. Well, we're in El Salvador, and we talked in the last episode about the barricade at the border. Well, we got through, we cleared out Guatemala, we got into El Salvador. Great people at the border crossing, had a good time with the man and the lady there. But it took a while to get all the paperwork done, and then we're ready to depart. Well, I told you that we had 16 kilometers of tractors, 18-wheelers piled up on the Guatemala side. Got the same thing piled up on the El Salvadorian side. So we get going and there's no way. It's chaos, trucks are parked everywhere, the road is barricaded. And Kyle, through his ability to manage people and his past experience as stage manager, he has a theory that if you act important and are loud enough, people will do what you tell them to do. So he got out and he starts shouting at these truck drivers, move this truck over here, carry that there, do this. And they obey him like he's some authority. And he clears a channel and we can get the car through all this chaos of trucks and tractors and everybody backed up. And it was amazing how he could direct these big trucks to move 10 feet forward or make a little bit of room, and he got us through. So Kyle, you did a great job that day. Well done, man. And El Salvador has been a country that has changed a lot since the last president, and all the gangs and criminals have been put in jail, and it's quite a modern country on the path that we chose. We saw McDonald's and KFC and Wendy's and Burger Kings. We saw Disneyland type of developments. We saw beautiful beach resorts and spent an evening on the beach in luxury and eating the fine dining. We also came across mechanical problems. We pulled into a town and nothing there for accommodation. So Joanna and Yoda got us into a love motel. What's a love motel? Well, it's a motel where the rooms are rented by the hour, by 3 hours, or you can rent for the evening. So we rented 3 rooms because naturally there's only 1 bed in every room. So we had to get enough room so that we all had beds, whereas who would have thought that there would be 2 beds in a love motel? Before that, I had a flat tire, and it was right with 3 kilometers to go. It was dark, and I decided I'll just walk the bike in, I'll fix the tire the following morning. Well, I walked and it got pitch black and I couldn't see, and it was hard for cars to see me walking down the shoulder. And I finally stopped about 1 kilometer from the Love Hotel and asked them to come pick me up because I felt it was too dangerous to be out there in pitch blackness on the middle of the highway. The owner of the Love Motel lent us his car, or his wife brought their car, because for Joanna it meant unhooking the tent trailer and everything else. And so, good-natured fellow, he sent his wife in the car down, they picked me up in the bike, and we went back. Following day, we drove back to that spot and I started riding again to keep the Guinness's World Record intact. So we arrive at the hotel. I'm in the Love Hotel and watching Netflix on my phone, and I hear what I think is a rat or something scratching on the wall. What is that? And I look around, no, can't see any rodents or anything. And it continues, and then it stops and it continues. And I just, I ignore it. Well, then I hear Yoda hollering, "Bob, are you awake?" Yes, I'm awake. Why? Come on in. Well, why don't you answer the ladies? What ladies? The ones knocking on the little door. What little door? The one beside your bed. I said, oh, I thought that's where they put the phone or something in there. No, Bob, that's where they pass through the food and the drinks so that nobody can see into the room and you can't see them. So it's a privacy thing. I said, well, what do they want? Well, they want you to pay the bill. I said, oh, I just thought it was a rat scratching on the door or something. So, okay, I had to go pay the bill, and it was a little secret I didn't know about the Love Hotel. You get to see all the mirrors and everything else, but never thought about that little door. Next day, though, car problem, it won't start. So that's going to delay us a day while we get it fixed. That throws us one day off schedule. And we do get a tow truck to come out and load the vehicle in and take us to a garage where it does get fixed. But now the owner of the hotel, we said, oh, we want to keep the rooms for one more day. Oh, excuse me, he says, I rent these by the hour during the day. I'll need your rooms. If you want, you only rented it for the night, not for the day. Oh, what does that mean? Well, he said, I'll be good to you if we get extremely crowded and people are wanting to rent the room at lunchtime or whenever. I'll have to move all your luggage out and rent the room, but then I'll put it back in. As it turned out, he didn't have the crowd banging down his doors to get in, and we didn't have to relocate during the day, and he let us stay one more night. Next day we got up and started off early and into Honduras, and we're only there one night, just a little corner of Honduras, but we do get to a nice hotel on the seafront, and Yoda finally gets her wish and she can have lobster. So we had fresh lobster dinner that night with the various trimmings and the beer to go with it. And it was one good night in Honduras before we started off the next day for Nicaragua. Now Nicaragua caused the problem. Kyle has his drones and batteries and everything, and Nicaragua and the government, I guess, are self-conscious and they don't want any drones there. So Kyle had to leave us in El Salvador. He didn't go to Honduras, and he leapfrogged to Costa Rica with his drones, and eventually he would meet us when we crossed the border into Costa Rica. So unfortunately, Kyle wasn't there to do his wonderful media work and everything in Nicaragua, but it's a wonderful country. I've cycled there. This would be my third cycling trip there. I love the people, the ladies are pretty, the food is good, the scenery is great, the beaches, everything about Nicaragua is really good. We cycled, and the roads were probably the best roads in Central America are in Nicaragua. Unfortunately, because we were delayed a day with the car repairs, I adjusted the itinerary, bypassed the beautiful ancient town of Leon, university campus in Nicaragua, and carried on our way to the Costa Rican border. But one day was a long day, 140K. We stopped to see the volcano there and look down on the lake that's nestled in the volcano. And we were riding so that it was getting dark. And then it started to rain, first the drizzle at first and darker and darker. And we got a message from Yoda, the Airbnb has not answered us, we have no accommodation. And when you get that kind of message, you get kind of cranky and irritated and just let's get off the bike. So I said, just pick the first place, I don't care how bad it is, just get the first place. Okay, and she found one back. We arrived there and it was terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, the girls are not staying here, we're not staying there. Oh, okay. The next town, Rivas is a big town. We're going to go there. We will survive the darkness. So we're riding in the dark with our headlights on, trying to avoid the people walking on the road, trying to avoid the traffic or having the traffic avoid us, looking out for potholes and wiping our glasses from the rain as we proceeded into Rivas. Not in a good mood, not happy at all. And we're riding and I thought, oh, this district does not look good. I don't really feel safe riding through here, but it wasn't a problem. Turn the corner and here we are in the main square, lit up with Christmas decorations and music and carols playing, food trucks all around, lots of people, some cultural dances. And the girls have found a 4-star hotel, beautiful pool, hot water, soft beds, everything. The day ended with a great meal, taking photographs of all the people in the park and settling into a beautiful hotel. So Nicaragua ended up as a perfect end to a day that turned out to be a little tough at the end because we never like riding in the dark. Next day was to the border, typical border crossing, checking out of Nicaragua, checking into Costa Rica, 3 hours spent, reunion with Kyle on the border, and then the race to Liberia, Costa Rica, where I live, and Gloria and her daughter, my daughter Julie, is waiting there for us. Unfortunately, due to the timing on the border and everything else, it gets dark, it starts to drizzle again. So I call ahead and I said to Gloria, get Julie and you and drive out and meet us because it's going to be dark before we get there. So with 35 kilometers to go, we were met by Julie and Gloria, and lots of hugs and kisses and reunions. It had been almost 5 months since I'd left home. And when I got there, there's a big poster on the door, welcome home, Dad, or whatever. Apple pie with welcome, octogenarian Odyssey, neighbors and friends were there. And we had 3 nights sleeping in my own bed for the first time in a long time. And then the others went off to the beaches and doing all the wonderful things that Costa Rica offers them. I had to stay for my rest days and fix the tire that was buggered up in El Salvador. We couldn't get the tire off. I went to a number of places. There's no way they could loosen the bolts or anything to get the tire off. After spending almost a full day, I finally ended up, okay, I'm going to the Bridgestone, Firestone, big service station that I tried to avoid, and I took it in. Oh yeah, we had this problem a week ago. And it took them a long time with acetylene torches and power drills and everything else. And I had to leave the car overnight the next morning, but they finally got the wheel off, the tire changed, new bolts put on, and the car was ready to go. Then took it in for a new set of brand new tires to be put on, and checked the brakes out, and it was all set to finish our journey through Costa Rica, down the highway. Ended up in Punta Arenas, again racing the dark, trying to get in by dark and didn't make it, and riding the last 20K in pitch blackness to a beautiful spot on the ocean, big swimming pool, and a beautiful restaurant next door. Next day, same, through the jungles, big downpour again, taking shelter in the shelter of a small house where the person came out and invited us in and sat in his porch, and even though he didn't have much, he shared his coffee and a sandwich with us.
¿Cuántos años?
Desde 25.
Wow.
Salí como teniente. Vean, aquí está. Conoce armas. Beretta, Jericó, Uzi. Uzi, mini Uzi, su ametralladora.
Yeah.
Aquí.
Wow.
We reciprocated by giving him some beer and everything as we left, and thanked him for his hospitality. And we moved on to the Panama border, where we found ourselves at the same predicament we did in the Mexican-Guatemala border. There was no room in the inn. Everything was taken by migrants, Christmas shoppers who go to Panama to pick up Christmas gifts at half price. So it was very, very crowded. We sat around in a restaurant wondering where we were going to go. Yoda and Joanna went out and found one room. So 5 of us bunked all in one room together that night with one toilet. The door on the toilet didn't work, hung on one hinge, no hot water. It wasn't the best way to leave Costa Rica, but at least we had a shelter for the night. And we spent the evening talking to more migrants, but this time they were from Venezuela, and they were poor, and they wanted to know if they could eat the food off the plate that we didn't want, the chicken bones and things like that. And we heard their stories about how they escaped out of Venezuela. One guy was in special forces, He looked very, very fit and everything. He said no, he just didn't want to take part in any of the military campaigns that were against his people, and he deserted. He could not go back for risk of life and had to move on. So a different type of migrants, but the story is the same, walking through the Darien Gap and the high mountains of Panama. And that's how we ended up getting through every country but one. Our final episode is Panama, the finish line, 14,224.4 kilometers. And we're racing through Panama. Not going to be a quick race because we're going to stop and see our Facebook friends, somebody else again who's given us accommodation. So we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.